Hi, I wanted to welcome you to the Divorce Planning Podcast. I'm Carri Goldring, and I'm in the mortgage business, and I do planning pre-divorce for people who are either going to refinance their home, do an equity buyout, or plan to purchase a new home and make sure that everything in the divorce decree is worded properly and the numbers in the planning is taken care of so that you can go through the underwriting process smoothly. And I would like to introduce you to other people who are interested in the divorce planning process so you can get a real education of what's involved. Hope you enjoy.
Hi, today with me I have a client of mine that I helped close a mortgage for. Her name is Constance. And Constance, I wanted to welcome you and say thank you for spending time with me and sharing. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's good to be here. Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see you. So it's been a while since you purchased your new home already. Are you enjoying it?
I love my house so very much. Yes.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad. I'm so glad. And I love the painting behind you.
I know. Feel like I'm at the beach.
Yeah, it's awesome. So can you tell people a little bit about your story and how you came to me, and maybe really always looking to share things that people don't know, or maybe that surprised you or that you weren't expecting, or that you, or just people in general haven't, most people have not gone through the divorce process if they haven't gone through it. So maybe any insight that you feel you could share to educate people would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to do it and help anybody out. So I did just finish my process and my transition was done maybe the end of February. And what I would recommend anybody going through that situation is to call the professionals even before you think you need to call them. So you know you can find out options of how to proceed. I'm talking to people right now that are friends that are actually going through what I just went through, and they're afraid to call like a lawyer or a certified divorce lending professional or any sort of professional because they feel like they're not in the position to move forward with a divorce, even if they're in a very bad situation. And what I would encourage is to make that call, find out what your options are, because it makes you feel a lot more empowered to move through the process and it will get your confidence up and it will, once you have options, then you can put your clear path down to get where you need to go.
That
So
makes
I
really good sense. And just because you talk to people doesn't mean you have to move forward and do anything. You're just gaining knowledge.
Yeah, it just helps you because, I mean, when you're going through a divorce process, you probably, unless you've been through it before, and even I have been through it before, but it had been a long, long time ago. And I just didn't feel confident that I could get through the process, that I was empowered to, do all of the steps that I needed to. And I was really nervous. But once you talk to the right people, it becomes clear that, there is help out there and there's a lot of people in your situation. And there's people that can help you and consult and give you options that you really didn't know were there.
How did you find your professionals, and what professionals did you use?
I networked with friends who had friends that have been through like maybe a high conflict divorce situation that were helpful and gave me some local names of people to call. So I didn't know if I wanted to keep the house that I was in, the marital property, or if I wanted to find something else. At first, I wanted to stay in the marital property. So I consulted with somebody that came in and told me what they would need to do to fix the house because there were several issues with it. Like, I mean, mold and, just things, right, that needed to be fixed. So I really had to understand how much it was going to cost to fix. So I got them in. I spoke with you because I didn't understand what my options were. Could I afford the house? Could I not afford the house? If I stayed in the house, could I fix the house? I just had a ton of questions. Did I need to refi the house or could I stay on the existing loan? I didn't know that. Did I qualify for a loan? I had no idea. You helped me with that. So
Okay.
there's just a lot of financial pieces that you helped me with. And then beyond that, I I listen to a lot of podcasts because like you can just put your AirPods in
Mhm.
and while you're doing dishes, right? I was in the marital home while all this was going on, but I needed to learn because I didn't know. So I literally last year, I think Spotify Roundup said that I listened to 65 days of podcasts
For you,
on I know it was a lot, but I mean I was sleeping half the time because I would fall asleep to the
right?
podcast also, but it really helped me understand what I needed to do and how I could get from point A to point Z. So I
That's
used
fabulous.
every resource available and it helped me a lot.
That's awesome. Were there things that you learned that you were surprised was the way that they were?
Yeah, I mean, like with filing for divorce, I didn't know if I could afford it because a lot of the assets were not in my name. And once I spoke with my attorney and once I spoke with you, I understood that even if I didn't have the money, they could put an order in place so where he would need to cover part of, my bills. And it just that was really surprising because you just don't know if you can afford it. I've got 4 kids. I've got a kid in college. It's a lot. I've got a 100-pound dog. He costs a lot too. I mean, just the
Mhm.
vet bills. So I just didn't know if I could afford to move forward, and I needed to, and I just figured out that I could. So even if you don't think that you probably can. You just need the right help.
Right. And remind me and people listening, were you working while you were married?
Yeah, I've worked since I was 15. I've
Oh,
worked very hard. Even when I had twin babies and a 1.5-year-old at home, I worked full time. So I really, because of that, I wanted to make sure that I was financially responsible because I have worked very hard and I don't want to give everything that I've earned away. So
right.
I was very careful to protect myself as best as I could.
That's great. And then how was the house hunting experience with you, like making all the decisions by yourself?
Well, so that's interesting. I've always had an interest in real estate, so I really knew the market already anyway.
Oh, good for you.
Just because I would look at it and see where my house was compared to other houses and, was I sitting positive? Was I underwater? I just really like to understand the market. So, because I'd been doing that even before I had filed for divorce, once I found a house that I thought might work, because what I decided after speaking with you is like, I could have kept that house, but I was going to sell it in maybe a few years. And by the time you turn around, improve it, sell it, pay realtor fees, it just didn't make sense financially. So, with your help, I decided I wanted to find a new house. I just looked on realtor.com. My sister's a realtor. Um, and I found the house. I told her I wanted to walk through it, and this was, like, literally 2 days before my first negotiation with my ex, and she walked me through it. I'm like, "That's the house I want." So,
Wow.
I needed to get the money set aside in my first negotiation for a down payment. By some stroke of luck, we were able to figure that whole thing out. I walked out of my first mediation, walked into another conference room, and I put the offer in on that house.
That's
It
so,
was really a miracle that it came together.
and you're like, look what I did.
Yeah, it's a lot
It's a
because
lot.
managing 4 children, it's a high conflict situation, buying a house, in a divorce process, you're gathering tons of information. When you're applying for a mortgage, you're gathering tons of information. Sometimes
Mhm.
there's not always cooperation on the stuff that you need. So
Right.
it was a lot of project management.
I can't even imagine. Do you ever look back and go, I don't know how I did it?
I do, and I almost didn't make it, honestly, on some fronts, but it did come through. So, and you were really helpful. I mean, I know that a mortgage lender is going to need a lot of information, And you gave me options. If I couldn't find this piece of paperwork, maybe I could find this piece of paperwork. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh,
we
good.
pieced it together. So that was really helpful.
And were you involved in other purchases that you did in terms of like the mortgage stuff, or was that something that you were hands off on?
So I had purchased two homes on my own before I was in this marriage. So I knew kind of the process.
Good,
But after I was married here, I was more hands off. Um,
because you had four children and a job.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that made it a little more challenging, to be honest. I would
Right.
recommend not doing that if you are able.
Right. And I think that's one of the hardest things of the people that I work with is when you're in a marriage, you're constantly dividing and conquering, right? Because you're both not going to always do the same thing. It's not time effective. And for whatever reason, most women do more with the kids and the scheduling, and most men do the money. And then when it comes time for the divorce, there's a lot of women who some are embarrassed, some feel bad, some, just take it for what it is, but they don't know a lot. So there's like a almost like an information gathering phase of what do you even have and what does it mean? And I remember when I was single, like I paid my own bills and I lived on my own and I did everything. But then when I got married, like then computers came and paying online and websites. So by the time I got divorced, even though did do things by myself, everything has changed so much that it was like starting over anyway.
Right.
So things just change, right? And then passwords are constantly changing and you're not always knowing what those are. And what the webs it's not like the old days where you would go to the mailbox and everything you needed to know was right there.
Right.
So
Yeah.
makes it a little trickier. Would you say there was anything different about working with me as a divorce mortgage person as opposed to you just buying a house and getting a mortgage?
Well, absolutely. Because I didn't know what was the most sound financial approach for me. Did I want to keep the other house? Did I want to buy a new house? Did I want to renovate the other house? Did I want to flip it quickly after the kids graduate? I had just, it was wide open and I didn't have the information or like the knowledge of the tax rules or divorce. There's a lot of specifics that you offered information on in the divorce process that help you make the right choice for you financially. So I think that was really helpful in helping me pick my path in buying a new home. And so I did downsize, and a lot of people would probably not want to downsize, which I really would have preferred to stay in the other house.
Mm-hmm.
But once I looked at all of the facts and the financials, it was completely clear with what we talked about that I needed to find something else. And I'm so much happier that I did.
Okay.
I mean, I did downsize, but it needs no work. It's very easy to maintain. Um, I'm installing like a generator, like a
Oh,
whole
nice.
home generator, and it's like the lowest cost because it's one level and there's no basement. And it's a perfect house for somebody my age with four kids. We all fit in here perfectly. Um, I can have nice dinners and I don't know, just the furniture that I took from the old house works perfectly here. It
Oh,
just
good.
really all came together way less painfully financially and logistically as far as pulling the house together. So, yeah, I think you were very helpful in understanding the divorce process, as well as understanding that sometimes when you're going through divorce, you're just under a lot of duress, you're being pulled in many directions. And I mean, if I had just gone to somebody that hadn't had the knowledge on the divorce process, it would not have been as easy as it was. Not that it was easy, it was very hard, but it was a lot easier because I came to you and you
Oh,
knew the specific situation and like the methodologies for getting it done the best and most
And the,
efficient way.
yeah, and the time frame that you have to go to is always a
Oh,
big thing. Like, do you wait for your divorce to be final? Do you not? Do you have to? Do you not have to? Do you get off the mortgage? Do you not get off the mortgage? All
yeah.
those crazy, crazy questions that come up. Yeah, I have a lot of people that I either don't want to talk to me because they don't understand what I do, so they just don't call. Or I'll talk, the attorney will talk to people and they'll say, well, I have a mortgage person that I've used forever, so I might as well just do that. And then a lot of times they end up calling me after, just because I think navigating the whole divorce space is a little tricky if you're not familiar with it. And like you said, making the decisions of do you buy, do you not buy, what of all the money and all the pieces and the timing look like. Where if I did regular mortgages, you would just call me and say, I'm buying a house and what's my highest price range? And then we'd move forward and that would be the end of it, right? So it makes a difference. Is there anything that you could say that you learned that you weren't expecting, or words that you heard that you didn't know what they were and now you do, or advice that you think is important to give?
Well, I think one thing that was really helpful, and you had mentioned timing. So my timing was really, it was critical because I was wanting to get out as soon as I could of the marital home. And I was able to, right after we had several different mediation sessions. And right after the first one, I was able to put my offer in and get my house like set up as quickly as possible, even before I was able to actually move. So I had a place to work because I work out of the house. So I was able to work here during the day. I was able to bring my dog here during the day. And it was just, it was really nice to have that flexibility and location. And it also allowed me to move like one carload at a time over a
Mhm,
couple of months, which
mhm.
was really, really helpful. So, I just think that the timing would not have been so easy had I not been working directly with you, because you understood what my process was with the mediations and all of the different requirements that I had to walk through. So that was really critical for me because I was really unhappy with the living situation while I was going through the process. So
Makes
it was
sense.
very nice to have someplace to go, without having to like rent an apartment or something like that.
Right.
I
That
didn't waste money on that,
that is
I
always,
saved all my money and I put it into my house and my inspections, but everything's going to have a return now.
that's so wonderful. I'm so happy for you and I'm so
I am too.
glad that it worked and that you seem like you're in a really great place, which is so nice. And the kids
I
are
love it.
good. Mhm.
Yeah, they're happy here. It's home to them. It's
That's so
very nice, and there's an acre here, which is really unheard of in this area. I think I lucked out a little bit on, the find too. It's hard to find a four-bedroom ranch.
right.
So, I mean, everything did kind of come together.
That's so nice. So it's I always I believe in it's meant to be. You just might not know what path you're gonna go till you get there, but it all seems to work out in the end.
That is for sure. I mean, from where I was to where I am now is such a huge difference. Like, I would have been happy with any place. I wasn't really being super picky, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I jumped on it and everything kind of came together and it's really nice. It came together way nicer than I had anticipated.
And how long has it been since the time you filed till now? Do you know?
Well, actually, March 21st was a year, so just a little over a year
Okay.
from when I originally filed.
So it didn't, I
But
mean,
I
a
mean,
year sounds long, but it really didn't take you that long to readjust.
no, because I was actually done in late February. So it took less than a year. And I had the house in January. So I bought the house in, like, I signed all the paperwork January 7th.
That's awesome.
So at that point, things got better because I had another house.
So wonderful. So wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you doing this with me. And I know the audience that I have loves listening to people who have come out good on the other side. It gives everybody a lot of hope.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's not easy, but you can do it.
you. It's true.
Everyone out there, you can do it. If I can do it, you can.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Carrie.
I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I'm Carri Goldring, and if you ever have any questions regarding mortgage, feel free to give me a call or send me a text message, 248-420-4524. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day.